Precept. Precept it up. So I've been reading this book on morality. It's pretty cool. I was saying that, like, Christian morality is sort of unique, distinct from the world's morality, in that it's, Christianity is a way of life. It's not, like, a morality in the sense of, like, how the world thinks of morality. Every moral theory is unique. Yeah, but I'm saying it's like a separate category. This book was talking about, like, two moralities that, like, I think people make a mistake and think there's this thing called univocal thinking as opposed to analogical thinking or reasoning. So univocal thinking is a mistake that, like, non-believers make a lot, and sometimes believers, where we will say our thoughts are a one-to-one comparison to God's thoughts or something. Or, like, our truth is a one-to-one truth. Our logic is a one-to-one logic to God's logic. Our morality is a one-to-one univocal relationship to God's morality. And this guy was saying that, like, we'll always have this, like, analogical morality, because, like, God has this morality that's, like, separate from, like, human morality as a result of the fall. I was trying my best to understand it. It was pretty hard to understand. Oh man, you want to come up? You want to get precept?
Yo, how's it going?
Going well.
Bro, I'm a Hindu, bro, but I don't believe in any God. I don't think any God exists, or like the way that most people would describe. I'm assuming that you're a Muslim or Christian.
I'm a Christian.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I don't believe in, like, God is the way it's described in the Bible as a creator, things like that. But I do believe in some, like some underlying divine forces, I guess you could say, as a God force, like a I don't know how to describe it, like a supernatural kind of thing.
But if God designed the world where God purposed himself not to be known, could we know God?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so that's a problem. Like, to speak about God at all, it would require revelation. God would have to take the initiative to reveal himself to us to have, like, knowledge of God.
But why does there have to be a God creator? Why can't, like, the universe just, like, exist on its own? You know what I mean?
Well, there's two fundamentally different ways to understand the world. It's either an intentional world or an accidental world. You can think of non-intentional.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like, why can't it be, like, not necessarily unintentional, but, like, just a consequence of, like, the laws in the universe already?
Well,
Like,
it's either intentional or non-intentional, right? There's
well,
no.
no.
Yeah.
Everything in the world is unintentional. I feel like,
If I say it's A or not A,
yeah,
that includes all possibilities. So if
not okay.
the world is either intentional or not intentional, there's no other possibility.
Okay, it's not okay. I mean, so okay, so I guess I'm on the side of not intentional. Go ahead.
Right. So if you're gonna say the world's not intentional, it's just gonna like lead to basically a performative contradiction where it's gonna be self-defeating because we the way we live our lives and the things we experience a world that's intentional. We don't experience this non-intentional world.
What about it is intentional?
Virtually everything, like everything in creation, would exemplify ultimate intention and ultimate design. And if you
No.
deny that,
Yeah.
you're reduced to an absurdity where like your sentences don't even have any meaning.
Okay. I mean, I think you're too far gone to even like discuss this with, buddy. You know how old the universe is?
Well, science says it's like 14 billion years, but science doesn't really get to any sort of truth because there's always like new evidence that can.
Yeah. I mean, modern science doesn't, but ancient sciences do. They have like a lot of uninterrupted time to study.
Are you actually Hindu? You actually believe in the Hindu religion?
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in Hinduism. I know. I like studied the knowledge from the Vedas, things like that.
Oh well, Hinduism, like, don't you guys say like everything is Brahman?
Some people do. Yeah, there's many schools of thought, but yeah, I guess people. Yeah, that's one way to describe it.
That
Or,
kind of destroys logic though, because then everything is A, and then there wouldn't be any not A.
I mean, why does there have to be a not a? Like, where's the logic in heaven,
Non-contradiction.
bro? Where's the logic in the Holy Trinity, or like heaven and earth? Like,
The Holy Trinity
there's
would.
no logic in blind faith.
The Holy Trinity is the Trinity is necessary for God to be perfect because He could have relationships apart from creation. Also, he the Trinity is necessary to explain the problem, the one and the many. So the Trinity is actually the only logical type of God that's going to make sense.
All right. I mean, I didn't really understand why. Why not like a single God, and then he could use his God power to create like a sun God.
Because we experience unity and diversity in the world, and in Christianity, there's unity and diversity, three persons, diversity and unity, one Godhead. The Unitarian God wouldn't have diversity. It couldn't make sense of like it couldn't give a metaphysical justification for like how there's unity and diversity in the world that we experience.
Okay. I mean, same in Hinduism. There's Brahma, the creator. There's a conserver, preserver, and a destroyer. I mean, isn't that a trinity also?
Yeah, but it's not the same as like the Christian Trinity.
I know, but like, I mean, don't you think like each like type of like energy or whatever can be allocated to one of those and just like one to one, you know?
But yeah, it's not the doctrine that there's like three persons in the Godhead, so it's not really like a comparable Trinity, even though like it's referred to as Trinity.
All right. Where's
It's
the
like
kingdom of heaven?
it's like a linguistic similarity only because the meaning is different.
Where's the kingdom of heaven?
Um, where is the kingdom of heaven?
Yeah, where's God's kingdom, aka heaven?
I'm not sure.
Well, Jesus said in Luke 17:21, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Or different versions can say the kingdom of God is in you.
I think I think when we like God pours his love in our hearts, and when we love others, we can like express like the kingdom of heaven is in our heart, unconditional love, and then when we love others, that's like an expression of kingdom of heaven on earth. Like when
Okay, so
when we do God's will, we're basically creating heaven on earth.
exactly, bro. So you're basically just saying Hindu values. So you're basically saying Jesus was a Hindu.
No.
Okay, well, that's what Hindus believe in. That's what Jesus said. It sounds like you're a Hindu, and he spent a lot of time in Kashmir. He probably learned meditation and yoga and stuff. You know, so I mean, there's no like your arguments aren't really like they're not logical as you make it seem.
They are logical. It's a transcendental argument for God. It's an objective proof.
Bro, there's no objective proof.
Sure, there is. The claims of the Bible represent like a paradigm. We just compare paradigms and see whose paradigm's correct. And only the Christian paradigm can make like science possible, or like philosophy possible, or arguments possible.
That's not even close to true, bro. Have you ever read the Vedas?
It is true.
It's not true. There's more knowledge out there.
No, I'm not really that interested.
Yeah, because you're not interested in pursuing the truth. You're just hell-bent, emotionally attached to Christianity.
Jesus is the truth. The truth is a person.
Have you studied any ancient cultures, like maybe the Egyptians or the Indians or the?
I'm not a scholar, but I mean, I'm interested in I try to learn about the world just like anyone else. I don't know.
Okay, I mean, like you should really look into it. Like, I don't think you're gonna change your mind, but you'll see that what you're describing is pretty common, and it's not only from the Bible.
Are you referring to the similarities between like Jesus and Horus or Krishna and that stuff?
No. Just like, I mean, what are you saying? Like science? Like, how does the Bible make science possible?
Because so scientific experiments have to be like testable, repeatable.
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
So for an experiment to like the type of world necessary for an experiment to be repeatable and get the same results, there has to be some like uniformity in the world, regularity in nature, order.
Right.
Only God could explain that, like that order in the world, that there's going to be this consistency, that if I drop a pen and it falls to the ground, that in the future when I drop the pen, it'll fall to the ground.
No. Entropy is a universal law. Everything goes from order to chaos. That's a fact. We're barely even in a closed atmosphere. We're gaining more and more energy in our
You're not
atmosphere.
understanding.
No, I am understanding. You're saying that in order there's no or there. Okay, then does it say anything about quantum mechanics, quantum physics?
So for a test to be repeatable and get the same results, there has to be like uniformity of nature, it's called, right?
Bro,
only Christian revelation can justify uniformity of nature. There's no other way to justify it. So to deny Christian revelation is to implicitly deny the justification that would make science possible.
Okay,
it's like there's no way out of it,
bro. Yeah, for you, because you dug yourself in a hole, bro. That's not even close to true, bro. Entropy is a proven law.
It's 100% true.
Okay, I mean, bro, you can attest science to the Bible all you want. Okay, energy can either be created or destroyed, right? But what happens to you when you die?
I believe in like soul sleep, so I think you're kind of like unconscious until judgment day, in which you will be resurrected and Jesus will judge you. So don't you want to have like a relationship with God?
Bro, yes, I want a relationship, like a good relationship with the universe, basically. Dude, like what? How do you think Muslims? You think Muslims are Christian too? Like people who worship.
You're just running. You just hate the truth, man. You're running from the truth.
Bro, There's no truth in anything you say. You have
Sure
absolutely
there
no
is.
proof of Judgment Day. Okay, tell me what the proof is for Judgment Day.
Well, it's in the Bible.
Exactly, bro. The Bible is not scientific or repeatable, buddy.
So Bertrand Russell, atheist, he says that the problem of induction proves, and he doesn't think it can be like refuted, that induction is an independent
What?
logical principle incapable of being inferred either from experience or from other logical principles, and that without this principle, science is impossible. So there, right there, Bertrand Russell is saying that science is impossible if we don't justify the principle of induction, and only Christian revelation can justify the principle of induction. So to deny Christian revelation, it would make science impossible, according to atheist philosopher Bertrand Russell. Like, it's not just my opinion, right? Like, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Christian. You know what I'm saying, bro? Oh, he left. Oof. Okay, let's do a poll. Who won that debate? I didn't kick him. Okay, so smiley face if you thought the Christian won the debate because they're going to heaven, and crying face if you thought the person who's like, like they hate the truth being Jesus, they're mad, they hate the truth, they're sad because they're in despair without truth. So crying face for the person that like hates Jesus, and smiley face for the person that loves Jesus. All right. Welcome.
What's going on?
Oh, that was a weird comment. I don't talk to too many people talking about Hinduism. That's pretty rare. What's up with you? Do you accept God as your creator?
I'm.
Oh man,
I
I
was
lost that
raised.
debate.
I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school, first grade through high school. I'm actually agnostic. I'm struggling to embrace the teachings of the church at this point in my life.
Like what's your stumbling block?
Well, I just having gone through, I'm 43 now, having gone through a lot of things in my life, I just don't see, I'm trying to think of how to articulate this. I feel like a lot of the promises of the church, I just have not seen come through in my life. And I also see a lot of hypocrisy and corruption within the church. And so that has led me to lose a lot of trust and faith in a lot of things in my life.
Well, I was raised Catholic. I'm confirmed. I went to like Catholic school, and I felt the same way. I thought they were hypocrites, so I left the church. I was never really like atheist or anything like that. I guess I kind of was like a new ager. It's probably sort of like the last guess, like Hindu. I thought the universe was God or something weird. And I tried to do it on my own, and it wasn't. I don't know. You might be. I'm 42. I don't know how old. I think maybe we're near the same age. When I was 37, I kind of realized I couldn't do it on my own. That I needed Jesus, and that like I had anger problems, for example, and Christianity taught me like the power of forgiveness. I forgave family members and stuff, and that helped like repair like broken relationships that then people later passed on. So it's like I'm really like thankful that that happened, that healing happened, because once people are gone, then that's it. But aside from that, crap, what I was gonna say something, I'm totally blanking.
Well, so for me, I think I wasn't ready to answer that question you asked. That's kind of what I was thrown off as you were talking. I got to thinking. So I'm currently 7 years sober, and when I was drinking and had a lot of other things going on in my life, I was constantly turning to prayer or the sacraments to try to fix those things, and it wasn't happening. Um, and it took me letting go of my old belief system and trying to rely on something different, which for me was fellowship within a group of people who were going through the same thing I was before I could give up those things. And by quitting drinking, a lot of the other things that were struggles in my life or things that were keeping me from being the person that I wanted to be were finally starting to go away. And it was through fellowship, and no one was preaching God. There's talk of a higher power, and but that higher power is whatever it is that you think is something you can cling on to that's bigger than you, right? And so as time went on and I got sober and things were getting better in my life, I was simplifying my philosophy of what's real, where do I draw strength, and then just the more I looked at the people who had surrounded me in my life who were involved in church, as things got worse, they weren't there for me, but these strangers took me in. And so um, I don't denounce that there is a God. I just don't believe that we know exactly what God is. And for me, that's okay. But I jumped on your live because um, I think trying to debate somebody into accepting the existence of God is kind of a futile task, right? So, um, you
Well, I
know,
would agree there. That's not necessarily what I'm trying to like. All I can do is offer like a proof. Like I can't.
and I don't know that we can prove it either. I think
Well,
of,
I
and
think
I'll
we
and I'll
can.
use biblical examples, right? I think you can prove it to yourself, but I think presenting proof to somebody else is not the point, right? So that's why it's going to sound like I'm defending, coming from a Christian perspective, but um, that's how we can relate in terms of talking about this. But Jesus really speaks about faith, and he talks about faith of those who don't see and
Dude, you're
come
not
to.
even a Christian. You're telling me how to be a Christian. Seriously?
I'm debating. I'm talking through the approach of you were saying you can prove it, and that's not what you were taught when you're going
Yeah.
to speak to other
Dude, hold
people.
on. Stop.
I'm
I
not
can
trying to be
object. Look,
offensive.
stop. You're free to believe whatever you want to believe, right? Like, I don't care. Like, if I mean, I think you're making a mistake where you're judging Christianity by like individual Christians and people who are sinners and not by like Jesus, which is what you should judge by Christianity by. But all that aside, like debate is about like there's an objective truth between us that we share. And I think we can objectively prove Christianity is true, right? And so like if you're not a Christian, like I don't really care like if you think the Bible says what. You know what I'm saying?
I pointed out because I'm saying that is even the approach that what Jesus is saying. If you believe it, that's not the approach to take. He's not wanting you.
I don't want to learn about how to be a Christian from someone who's not a Christian. Why would I
I
do
was
that?
raised Christian. I have a 12-year Christian
I don't
education.
care. You're not a Christian.
So when someone's challenging you, you immediately say you
Oh my
don't.
god, dude. I'm not going to teach you how to be like a secular
I'm
like
not.
God
I'm
hater.
not teaching. I'm pointing out a contradiction of what you're saying.
Oh my god, dude. There's no contradiction. Like we don't even view Christianity the same way. Don't you get it?
So tell me what's the objective truth? Because you didn't. You said the same thing to the prior guy. You didn't really present it.
Yeah,
So
that
what? So what's the objective proof that is undeniable?
well, so the argument I make has to do with the idea that like there's no such thing as a neutral fact, that a fact requires interpretation. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but I don't understand why that has to be ascribed to a god.
Okay, because whenever we interpret a fact, it's going to involve background information, background beliefs. And I'm saying that, like, God is going to be necessary as one of those background beliefs to interpret any fact. So to deny God would be to deny facts,
Okay,
because
so
God's necessary for facts.
so if I look at a piece of paper and it's red, a red piece of paper, the only reason why I know that that's red is because of God.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Okay, so red is going to be a universal, right? Like, red doesn't exist in the natural world. There's no, like, cup of red. You can't measure red, right? You can't put red in a microscope.
Yeah.
So, because red's a universal, universals necessarily require, like, this concrete universal so they can be real, and God is a concrete universal. So that would be, like, proof of God.
You're jumping to a conclusion because you've only allowed yourself to. That
There's a necessary relationship. Universals require a concrete universal.
and so
That's
you
correct.
have so that doesn't logically lead to God.
Yes, it does, because God's the concrete universal.
Okay, but we have to agree that God's a concrete universal. I don't agree that God's a concrete universal. So therefore,
Yes,
your
you
argument
do.
doesn't stand.
You just don't know it, because you're speaking, when you talk, you're using universals, right? And or unifying descriptions of reality. Those can only be true and meaningful if there's intention behind. There's ultimate intention, ultimate design is required for our unifying descriptions of reality, universals, to be true and meaningful, like numbers or red or any universal property. And you can't avoid speaking without using them. So when you talk, it's a proof that Christianity is true, because only Christianity can make sense, provide a metaphysical justification for universals. It's that simple.
Okay. That's just I'm shocked that you just don't understand the massive leap you're taking from I see red, you see red, it's the same red, therefore God. Like that just doesn't. You're just making a massive leap without. There's so much there that's just not even be considered. I feel like you read a philosophical agreement and you're like, this works for me, and that you're just repeating it. Like you're not really defending it.
Well, think about, like, 7 coconuts, right? 7 doesn't exist in the physical world. Like, where would be the 7 in the matter and energy and the 7 coconuts?
And so I guess my other point is, like, being agnostic, I believe that there could be a higher power. How do you then prove that Jesus is that higher power versus, or that manifestation of God versus other religions?
Well, we prove it as, like, a paradigm. We just compare paradigms.
Just prove it. Just don't do paradigms. Just where's the proof?
That's how I prove it. I prove it as a paradigm. We compare paradigms, which is the foundational beliefs we use to evaluate reality in the first place. I'm going to say that, like, the Christian paradigm is going to be necessary to make sense of reality. If you deny that, you can't make sense of reality. So due to the impossibility of the contrary.
Okay, but you're just repeating stuff. Like actually put this into
No, I'm making an argument.
You're saying this is right. That's it. That's the only reason why it could be right. Like that's
I'm making an argument. It's like
that's not an argument. That's not an argument. That's repeating a statement.
If facts, then God. We have facts, then therefore God exists. What?
If facts, then God exists in Jesus. Like that's all you're saying right now.
Yeah, but I've also explained why that's
the case. But you haven't explained anything.
All right. Well, thanks for coming. I wish you well.
Good. Yeah, good job.
Definitely explained it. Very thoroughly explained it for, like, spending like 10, 15 minutes explaining it. But he goes, "Oh, you've never explained it." That's gaslighting. That's abuse. What's up, Buck?
Yeah, I was gonna give you some background, but I got to say this is like performance art, right? Like you're
No,
trying to like make people atheists here.
I read a book called "The Objective Proof for Christianity." The book contains an objective proof for Christianity, and I'm just running the argument.
It's like Upright Citizens Brigade.
It's just modus ponens inference. If P, then Q. P, therefore Q.
I love what you're doing though. Keep it up. Seriously, this is amazing.
You're welcome. I wish you well. Thank you for coming.
Same, man. All
Jeez Louise.
Hello.
Hello. Nice lady. Leaving.
What?
Nice lady.
That you talking?
Yeah. That was my Woody Allen impression. You like comedy? I like comedy. Nice lady.
Okay. I thought I actually left a YouTube video on in the background.
No. Yeah, if P, then Q. P, therefore Q.
Okay.
The Bible says, Eve was created last. That means she's the pinnacle of creation. Isn't that wonderful? Don't you love women? I love women. They're the best. Thank God for making women. Am I right?
Oh, I guess.
This guy knows what I'm saying.
Sorry, I got confused in the moment.
You're confused? I'm just saying how great women are. They're like the fairer sex by far.
What about feminists?
I'm a feminist.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive. Yeah. Nice lady. So, do you accept God as your creator?
Well, the God that created the universe, sure.
Well, it says request if you're atheist or agnostic. So you're not atheist or agnostic?
Well, I do have a few questions I wanted to ask.
Okay, shoot.
So how powerful do you think God actually is? How would you put a power level to God?
Yeah, like he's over 9,000 at least. Yeah.
Like, would you say his power is basically infinite?
I think he could probably beat Goku and One Punch Man at the same time with his hands tied behind his back. Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very high power level. What's your power level?
I don't know. I was just curious.
Are you thinking about like picking a fight with God?
Well, I'd like to believe God is like an infinite fifth dimensional being or above. Like, he has so much power he could create and erase our universe with a subconscious thought in less than a second.
I think we agree.
Well, the
Do,
Bible says that he created the universe in 6 days, but I think God would be far more powerful than and far faster in creating the universe than that.
you do it in like a second, right?
Like less than a second,
Oh, less than a
like
second.
how Wally West Flash beat teleportation by going to Earth
Dude,
in the
your
in the
God,
in the DC comics. I think you would be able to. I think God would be able to create the universe even faster than that.
it sounds like your God can beat up my God.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Well,
I think I lost this debate. I think I lost this one.
uh huh.
'Cause, yeah, my God made the earth in like the world in like 6 days, and then he rested. Your God doesn't even need rest. Well, thanks for coming, man. I wish you well.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Oof. Oh, Army's father dropped. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? I got a little thought experiment for you.
Oh, I love thought experiments. Tag is a thought experiment.
Okay, well, here we go now. With your, say, two people with your exact Christian objective worldview that you claim walk up and see a 6 on the ground from your view, but a 9 on the ground from their view. With your objective Christian worldview, who's correct?
Who's correct? I mean, that would depend on the perspective, right? Because, like,
Well, from your perspective, it would be a 9. From the person standing on the other side, the upside down version of a 9 is a 6 to them. So you would both be technically correct, but also technically wrong at the same time. How, with your Christian objective worldview, would you solve that dilemma?
yeah, I love this that you asked this question because this highlights the issue of like how background information can give meaning to the facts, right?
God,
So
not God,
whether
more
I
information.
got interrupted. So whether the person, depending on the person's background information, like their perspective of how they look at the number, it's going to be a 6 or a 9, right?
No, it's where you're standing.
So our background information informs our truth about the reality and the facts of the world, the meaning of the facts of the world. Therefore, only the Christian's background information can actually give meaning and make sense of the facts of the world. The non-Christian
They're
cannot.
both Christians. They're both Christian worldview. Which one's correct?
Right. That would depend on the background information. I'm so glad you brought this issue up because it highlights how background
They can't figure
information.
it out with just God. They need outside information from the world.
I'm literally going to use this argument on people in the future, atheists in the future, and this is actually a really good way to highlight the problem for atheists.
The argument, you can't tell me who's correct. You have to use with just God in your
I answered
Christian worldview. You cannot tell me who's correct.
I answered the question. The question is going to be
Completely. It went right back to your precept.
Because you asked a precept question. So the background information is going to.
I can go do this in the real world.
Sir, why are you being so emotional?
We can make it happen.
You're being really emotional.
Back into a corner and just completely defected from the question.
Didn't get back, and I didn't get back in the corner. I really loved that you asked that question. It highlights the issues that precept brings up.
With my worldview, we would just say without any information, I don't know. With your worldview, you have to say God gives you the information. That's your whole claim, an objective view from God. All your information comes from Him, but not this.
If there's no way to determine who's correct in your position, which you just admitted, then you couldn't really have an argument,
Without
right?
outside information, there would be ways, but there's only a few.
You just admitted that we can't determine what's correct in your worldview.
How would you?
That's the whole point of precept is on your assumptions about reality, we couldn't determine who's correct, right? But if Christianity is true, we could determine who's correct.
Nobody's correct. You can't even give me an answer besides deflection.
No, I gave you an answer. I didn't deflect at all. I gave you a direct answer, and you just got really emotional.
No outside information. If two people walk up on a 6, from my perspective, it says 6. From the upside down perspective, them standing on the other side of the number, it says 9. We are both right.
Okay, so like I answered the question. Now, like you just keep like a dog going back to its vomit. So this is like a emotional, or it's like a rhetorical technique to like gaslight. Well, you're gaslighting me because I answered it, right? So this is gaslighting. This is actually abuse. Did you know that you're being abusive right now?
Well, I'm glad you need it, buddy. Maybe if you're smarter.
Well, I answered your question, and now you're being abusive by like telling me that I didn't. That's gaslighting, right? Because you're trying to like. And from my perspective, right, I answered your question.
From mine,
right? So you're telling me that my reality. You're telling me my reality is wrong. That's abuse.
Well, yours compared to about what 37 people. Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't see why I should sit here and be abused by you. Would you want me to abuse you?
I mean, you can come try. I don't get abused by words like little babies. Have you ever heard the old sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me?
Yeah. Well, I wish you well.
That's saying for a reason, unless you're a pussy.
I wish you well. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate you. So I guess I ran from that, right? Because I'm supposed to just be gaslit by people, or else I'm mean. Yeah. So crying face if the person that was gaslighting me won that debate, or smiley face if the person being abused by the gaslighter won that debate. Dude, Pretty Boy Mars, you're not welcome. What am I gonna do with you?
Hello?
What's up, John?
How are you?
I feel kind of down because the last guest I felt like he was gaslighting me, and I feel like dirty now.
Sorry about that.
Thanks. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, so can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Are you a Christian?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
All right. Well, I don't know if I have much to argue with because you're a Christian, I'm a Christian.
Oh, yeah, it says request if you're atheist or agnostic.
Uh-oh. Oh. Well, I have a friend that is. I might refer him to this, but...
That'd be nice.
Well, thank you. I'll give you a follow, and I'll share this with my friend.
Right on, man. I appreciate you. Thanks
All
for
right,
joining.
have a good night. Yep. Sorry about that.
No worries. God bless. You got my spirits
up. All right, you too. Thank you.
I'll
Bye-bye.
follow you back.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Man, that was nice timing. I was really like down in the dumps from all the abuse, and now I feel so much better. Musu, did you repent and become a Christian?
Not today.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm still an atheist.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What do you got for me today?
So you believe that there's a creator, right?
Yes.
So where did he come from?
He's like uncreated, he's eternal, we'd say like self-contained, non-derivative, non-dependent, the ground of all being.
So why is the rule only like not applied to him?
Are you asking me like why can't the universe be uncreated?
No, why someone couldn't have like created a God? Like, why doesn't God have a creator?
Because that's like how he's defined. He revealed himself as uncreated, eternal. Eternal means like uncreated. It's just what he is. When,
Is it? I think the world is eternal. I think that's
Mhm.
the universe is like a God instead of this imaginary being.
Do you think it has a mind?
I mean, no, but it functions like it.
It doesn't have a mind. It sounds like you're trying to have your cake and eat it too there. It doesn't have a mind, but it just has the properties of a mind or something. Like what? Why don't you just say it has a mind?
Okay, I guess it does have a mind.
You think the universe has a mind?
Hmm. You can't fault me for saying that when you believe an imaginary character has a mind.
Huh? Usually people don't say that.
Okay, so if God had no cause and he came out of nothing, that doesn't make sense. Like he would have had to have come from somewhere.
I guess if you're gonna say the universe has a mind, you would have to like justify how you would know that. So you would need like revelation, but there's no like revelation that says that. So you would just be making it up basically.
That's all I have for today.
All right. Yeah, I just don't think that's gonna work. I haven't really thought too much about that one. I should have a better response for that one.
Well, I'll be up some other time.
Um, yeah, because I guess we typically think of the universe as like irrational. Like we don't think of a rock or something as being rational. So it's kind of weird to say like the universe has a mind. Usually people don't take that position. All right, thanks for coming. I wish you well. I'm gonna have to think about that one more. The universe has a mind, because like I was thinking that might be able to account. Um, if the universe had a mind, then you could say there's like intention to the universe, and that could explain some things. Welcome, Bliss. What would you like to say?
Hey, no, I just want to say hi. You seemed like respectfully nice to everyone, and I heard you were like kind of like, I don't know if it was like disingenuous or like real, like you're like kind of down, and I was like, oh, like people can debate, but like don't be mean, you know?
I mean, I was kind of being funny, but like,
Yeah, I mean, I kind of
it
felt
is,
it,
it
but I
is
mean, I'm
like
sure there's some truth behind it, you
it
know?
is kind of frustrating talking to people who like ask you a question and then you answer the question and then they just keep asking the question as if you didn't give them an answer.
Yeah, I mean, it is a hard topic though, because you know, I mean, it's like one of those things where people feel so strongly, and like beliefs are things that people
Yes,
think they know, so it's tough, you know. So I feel that.
yes. A lot of emotions get involved when it comes to God.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Did you have any? Did you want to like debate or?
I mean, the way I thought of it is like I was like, you know, if you're like, you know, you're kind of like putting an effort to like go out of your way to like make this live. So like to me, I'm like, all right, so you have like some strong feelings and like, are probably like, like have some thoughts and some different things. So I, just kind of wanted to give you maybe an opportunity to kind of speak to some of that.
Well, originally I became a Christian because I have strong feelings about like freedom. Like I really value freedom, and I think I had like a bias. I had a bias being raised Catholic that I thought like Christianity was used to like control people, but well, that's sort of true. It's not so much true in the modern times as it was in the past, and that like I think there's a lot of like good things to Christianity. It has like utility. I think it promotes like freedom, human dignity, stuff like that. And so, like, I think I'd rather be like made in the image of God than like be an evolved great ape, basically, because I think that worldview is like dangerous. Like, it could lead to bad things. Like,
So actually, that's an interesting topic, right? So, and and as a tangent for me, right? So, I am atheist, right? But I know obviously, right? I mean, like, say Christianity is like probably 30-something%. Everything else is probably 20s to 10s. So, like, most people, or like everyone disagrees, right? Like, there's no majority, right? So, so there's always going to be different feelings, but so yeah, so like, what are like some of your so like you believe like the generic like Christian like the Earth 7 day story, or like what's kind of like you know what I mean, like, and again, and I'm not trying to be like like confrontational. I'm just like, oh, like, hey, what's your mindset, and like maybe like and how do you feel, like, you know what I mean, how do you get there?
Well, I mean, so I don't, yeah, because I believe in the story of Genesis. So I don't really believe in things like evolution or that the Earth is 4 billion years old.
Yeah, sure, you're good.
But like, I really like focus on things like the message of Jesus about like loving everyone and
right. Yeah, and I yeah.
That.
And I totally respect that. It's just because obviously, there's so many denominations. I mean, there are people that believe in Jesus and God, or like that sector, but like do you believe in evolution? So you know what I mean? So I was just like, oh, like, because like that is a hard one, when you start bringing, and like,
I think that's kind of our job. Like, Christianity is sort of like a way of life that we're called to create sort of tension in society and disagree. And I think that's like healthy for society. Like, if we didn't have people that sort of rebelled against the system and disagreed, then we would have like some stagnation or some like everyone would think the same type of thing. And I think, like I said, I value freedom, right? So tension and disagreement is just an entailment of freedom. So I think that's a good thing.
I like that, and I like that kind of mindset, because like, yeah, of course, within Christianity, like, if you are like Catholic versus this versus that, like, yeah, those people don't like each other and they'll kill each other. But like the idea of like the overarching idea of Christianity, yeah. But like, yeah, it's just more about like, I feel you. Like, I mean,
but for the most part, like, it's like all they really do is like they make hospitals and try to help people. There's like a message of service to others. They feed the poor. I mean, if you think social injustice is a good thing or it's something to fight for, there's like values in the Bible you can get to support like fighting for social injustice. Like, that's what Frederick Douglass did, for example, who's a Christian who's admired by Christians and non-Christians alike.
Yeah, and it's oh shit! I just realized. Oh my god, I fucked it. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm doing an injection. I just realized I took the wrong amount. Ugh. Hold on. Don't mind me. But no, I like that. I respect that. So is there anything like, maybe from my perspective, like questions for me, or you know what I mean? Or like, and again, I'm being very like, I'm just like, I'm here to,
Well, I mean, I don't know. I might just challenge you to like, that maybe you have a bias and maybe you should try looking at the world through different eyes and, try reading the gospel, maybe like one gospel, like pick a gospel, read a gospel, and
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong, for what it's worth, I did so my background, right? Like I did like I was raised Catholic, I did confirmation like through that level, right? But, I got older, I went to college, I started like, BS, MS in science. So, I went down those science paths, right? So that's where I am now, right? So,
yeah.
I would say like maybe when I was younger, if anything, I was biased because I wasn't like, like I was like not doing like my own thinking, you know what I mean? A little bit. But again, like I love and respect, like I have so many people like friends and family that are religious, and it's kind of like the mindset of like most people try to do the right thing most of the time. You know what I mean? As long as you're like living your life, like trying to do the right thing, like we don't need to argue semantics, like whether or not you believe in this or that, like are you acting in good faith? And I'm like, okay, you're good.
Well, sure, you're free to believe whatever you want, but I mean, I would argue that like Christianity is like, objectively provable. It's the truth, and that you ought to believe it. Sort of the point of my stream. I think we can logically prove it. But
Right. So I mean, hey, here's your platform, right? So what are some of your thoughts on that, right? That's a good.
Well, in science, there's a problem called the underdetermination of data, where like our paradigm is going to inform background information informs how we interpret like the data we get from an experiment. The scientific method doesn't tell us how to interpret the data. We have to use like background information to sort of interpret that data. Does that make sense? So then different background information will interpret data differently and have different meaning. And in order to know the like correct fact, we have to have the correct like paradigm or background information to interpret that fact. And like only the Christian background information can provide the like necessary justifications, I guess, to make any fact like sensible, be able to understand any fact. And that's how we know Christianity is true, because the non-Christian ways of looking at the world make facts impossible, and so then it would be like absurd. So like to deny Christianity would be to deny facts and to deny science itself.
So like no, like give me an example, right? Like walk me through it, because I'm not gonna lie, was trying to follow you. You did lose me a little bit, and I'm like, because I'm like trying to like do like I'm thinking through examples. You know what I mean? But so like just walk me through one.
I usually go to like the uniformity of nature, because like science experiments require there to be uniformity of nature, so you can repeat a test and get the same results.
Okay, okay, so maybe like, so when you say God exists, right? Like it's more of like you're saying, like you're not arguing for Christianity, right?
No, I am arguing for Christianity, but I'm arguing for everything of Christianity. But when we talk about specific things, I can't talk about, because we're finite beings. I can't talk about like a million things at the same time, right? I can only talk about one thing at a time.
Well, no, I just want to know, like, and sorry, don't mind me. I'm just trying to do something.
The argument comes from the Bible. So the argument is lifted off the pages of the Bible, so it proves the Bible, because it literally is sourced from the Bible entails the argument, and the argument like incorporates the Bible. So it proves the claims of the Bible are true. So it proves the Christian worldview. That's how it works. So I'm not arguing for like a generic God. It's specifically the Christian God.
Yeah, but like from like a basic ladder logic, you know what I mean? Or I can't speak. Sorry, like ladder logic. Sorry, like say like you're programming a PCL or a PLC. Oh my god, I can't speak tonight. Like that, like isn't how that those like if you know what I mean? Like not like arguing semantics, but like that just creates random loops. Like that doesn't bring you to that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like it's saying like, hey, my car's gray and today's Tuesday. That means today's Tuesday because my car's gray. Like as like a weird example, like not saying that's what you said, but like that's like the logic trail. You know what I mean?
Well, when we're talking about a paradigm, we can't use like a correspondence theory of truth. We have to use like a coherent theory of truth because there's no like reality to compare to, correspond to, since we're talking about the foundational things that are necessary to even experience reality, right? And therefore we have to compare our paradigms to determine which one's true. So what we do is we just do like, look, only the Christian paradigm can make sense of like facts, and any non-Christian paradigm can't make sense of facts. If you can't make sense of facts, then your position's like self-refuting. And therefore, like due to the impossibility of the contrary, the Christian paradigm is the true paradigm.
Sorry, don't mind me. I need to like move for a second. Sorry. I have to finish something. I'll rejoin in a couple minutes.
All right. Oh, what's up, Dale? Would you like to say something? They're kind of ignoring me.
Yeah, I understand that. How you doing, man?
Doing well.
I just want to say, somebody earlier mentioned that the universe may be eternal and have a mind. That sounds like what's it, panpsychism? I'm not sure if I'm
It's
pronouncing
kind
that
of
correct.
like, yeah, it's kind of like pantheism. I'm not sure exactly. I would have to look at the definition. I
Yeah, it
can't
kind of
remember
reminds
exactly.
me of Hermeticism a bit because I used to study Hermeticism, and I think the first law of Hermeticism is the law of mentalism, or that like the mind is somehow like semi-eternal or maximal abstract object or entity that governs everything. I don't,
I think it's still so. They're going to be denying the creator-creature distinction. So they're going to just say the creator and the creation is like the same thing. And so I think that's going to
like
lead
a
to like,
monistic type of where
yeah, that's what Hinduism says. Hinduism, yeah, everything is the Brahman, so that destroys logic. I rarely run into these people who claim this, so I just haven't really like thought about it too much. I just have to think. I have to think about it more, about how to respond to that position.
yeah, look up panpsychism. I think it would fit what the person claimed would fit into that worldview, or that philosophy, basically. I used to think that the universe was a mind. Well, the universe had a mind, but then I ran into some problems with that type of thinking.
I'm gonna ask Darth next time I see him.
All right, all right. Well, have a great night. God bless.
All right, you too. God bless. Thanks for coming up. Oh, look at these people. This guy's flexing on me already. Yeah, I don't know what Darth would say to that. I don't know if he'd have a good answer to that. He'd probably just, I suppose we could always fall back. They wouldn't have a single concrete unifying principle as pantheist because they're denying the creator-creature distinction. Oh man, that dude dropped. Oh, everyone's dropping. No one wants to debate me.
Storyland is calling. Something must be
Whoa,
happening.
you're an adult?
Changed and go.
What's going on there? I'm not sure what that was. Was that something bad? Where's Darth? I talked to him last night on Discord. All right, Nico. Yeah, Jesus friend for life. What were you doing there? What's up, Nico? What you got?
What's up? What's up? Yeah, so I guess what's your position? What's the argument?
Well, I'm a Christian and I make the transcendental argument for God.
What is that? What's the transcendental argument?
It's the idea that like facts are not neutral, that facts require like interpretation. And based on background information, we're going to interpret facts differently.
You mean like facts that we like observe in the real world?
Correct.
Okay. I guess I'm in that sense, I would say that I'm just like an epistemic like skeptic. Like I just think that if we anything that requires that we rely on our own sense data to gather our perception of the world, then I don't think that would like I can't trust for sure that that's always going to be accurate. But I'm not going to operate under that assumption all of the time. Like I still think that I live in the real world. I just don't think that I live in the real world where it necessarily is a creator, or where I can know that there is a creator for sure, because I could still technically just be like a brain in the vat, whatever.
Okay, but then you're just kind of living a life that's inconsistent. You're kind of contradicting your own like beliefs, basically.
What's inconsistent about it?
Well, I mean, you're basically living your life like Christianity's true, but you're denying Christianity.
Well, I get not necessarily Christianity. I'm just living as though the sense data that I'm gathering about the world that informs my perception of the world. So like that I'm a real human being. I'm in a place called Earth that, revolves around the sun. Like I believe all of these things to be true, even though I could be in a mass delusion. I could be, whatever it might be. I could be a brain in the vat, but I won't, I can't control that. So I'm not going to operate under the assumption that, I'm, whatever. I'm going to assume that everything that I'm perceiving about the world is real. But that doesn't necessarily mean in Christianity.
I get that.
Yeah.
You can do that. That's fine. You're welcome to do that. But it's just like you're being inconsistent. That's all.
Well, I guess what's inconsistent about it?
Because you're living your life like the Bible's true, but then you're denying the Bible.
Am I living? Wait, how does that imply that I'm living my life as though the Bible is true? I don't think I said that.
You like said that. Well, I just assume that like the external world is real and that my senses are accurate, right?
Well, I can accept that they might not be, but I do accept that they might not be. But I'm not going to like. The thing is, I've had nothing.
They're only justified by the Bible, right? So when you're doing that, right, when you're going, well, I just assume my senses are accurate. You're basically like assuming the Bible's true. It's the same thing because it's just implicit in the background information.
But when I say that I assume my sense data is true, I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm just talking about
it's implicit. That's what I'm saying. You're implicitly assuming the Bible, right? So
how?
Because only the Bible can justify that position or explain how that could be true.
Only the Bible can explain my ability to perceive things about the world?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So I guess, I don't totally know why that would be, but I guess what I would say to that is that I mean, I think that we live in a. It's possible, it's conceivable to me that there is a possible universe that doesn't have a god or like any kind of intelligent creation. I mean, if I were to assume the necessary supernatural characteristics that would require that the existence of a god would require to be possible, that I would have to do a lot more work. I'd have to make a lot more assumptions that are divorced from my perception of the world and what I believe is possible in the world that I live in. But if I could also just assume
You're
that
already assuming God. That's what you don't understand.
I could just assume that the universe is infinite. I could just assume that there's never been a creator.
You're already assuming Christianity is true, and you're just contradicting yourself with everything you say to me.
Okay, so someone says justify your empiricism without God. Okay, I could just assume that the universe is infinite. I could just assume that there always has been existence.
Sure, you can assume anything you want.
Well, I'm just saying, if I have to believe in God, belief, that idea, that word belief, I mean, is doing some work. I have to actually believe in something that I don't necessarily always see, right? Like you might have to close your eyes and pray and do whatever it is. So I might have to. I'm just saying the things that I have to abandon in order to believe in a God, that I have to believe in these supernatural properties. I would have to believe in fewer of them to just believe that the universe is infinite. The universe might just be infinite, or the time might be infinite.
I don't know. It's like so you cannot escape believing in the claims of the Bible. Anytime you open your mouth and speak to me, you're assuming the claims of the Bible are true. If you deny this, you will be contradicting yourself.
What are why is that the case though? I haven't seen you demonstrate why is it the case that I have to believe in the Bible?
Only the claims of the Bible explain the world with the necessary preconditions for us to have this conversation.
Okay, so can you explain to me what are some of the these conditions that only the Bible can explain? What sort of some of these things?
Like, for example, when we're speaking, we're using unifying descriptions of reality. So that can only be the case if there's like ultimate intention, and ultimate design.
I think what we're doing is I'm just using a word, and I'm hoping that word evokes a thought in your mind. And because we have similar experiences that we associate with that word, it's evoking a similar thought in our mind.
Stop bullshitting me, bullshit artist. When you talk, you're using unifying descriptions of reality. For those words to be true and meaningful, that requires ultimate intention and ultimate design. There's no way out.
Okay, so if I say a tree has green leaves, I'm assuming that that you have a particular experience where you've seen lights on a spectrum that is green, and I'm assuming that you've seen a tree before. I'm assuming that you've seen leaves before. I'm making a lot of assumptions when I'm using words to communicate a thought or evoke an idea in your mind, but I'm not using. I'm not using. I don't understand. I'm not using a unifying principle. I don't understand. I'm just using language.
Okay. Thanks for coming. I wish you well.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm just using language. Are you kidding me? I could go through the whole argument right now. I think I have it here. That guy was just a BS artist. Where's my argument? I think this is yes. Okay, premise 1. In a world with an unknown ultimate, or a chance world, or basically a world without intention, the properties of a thing are not inherently connected or united to one another. In such a non-intentional world, it is infinitely improbable that any two entities will share the same property, or that any two properties will share the same entity purely by chance. Premise 3. Only if an entity has something limiting its possible states of existence can there be a limit to its possible states of existence. Premise 4. Our unifying descriptions of a chance world are fictions because they assume connections and unities that do not inherently exist in a chance world. Premise 5. For our unifying descriptions of the world to be true and meaningful, there must be inherent connection and unity among properties and entities. Premise 6. Inherent connection and unity among properties and entities can only be explained if there is intention behind the existence of the world. Conclusion. Therefore, intention behind the world is required for our unifying descriptions of the world to be true and meaningful. If you deny that there is intention behind the world, that means all the words you're using are meaningless. Game over. Game over, atheists. What's up, Logic?
What's up?
Do you accept God as your creator?
Not at all.
Oh my gosh, why not?
No, I used to be a Christian when I was one for 30 years till things didn't make sense at all. So, nope, not at all.
How does the non-God, are you an atheist?
Yeah, I'm an atheist.
But how does that make sense? There's no evidence for that.
There's no evidence for God either.
I presented an evidence just now. I gave a proof.
I mean, if you want to present evidence for a God using logic, fine. But at the end of the day, if you do have this this God, then you have to choose which God. And I know that you say that, well, it's the God of the Bible, but you cannot use the Bible as proof of your God.
Sure, I just make the Bible my self-authenticating starting point in the system or the paradigm, right?
That's fine. But like I said, if you want to use the Bible, then you have to understand that this Bible has to be the untampered, inerrant, infallible Word of God, which it is definitely not. It's not historically accurate or anything.
That's incorrect. It's like 98% accurate.
98% accurate. There's a lot of errors in it.
It's
a lot.
No, it's one of the most studied, peer-reviewed texts in the world. So
yes, it is. But there's also there is, but it's also very, very incorrect on a lot of aspects. There's even historical inconsistencies, such as it is. Let me give you one example. Such as the book of Joshua, right? So you have Joshua 8, where Joshua tells, God tells Joshua to go destroy the city of Ai, right? So the problem with that is that the Bible says that Joshua went to destroy this city, but that city was already destroyed before he actually got there, historically speaking. Now, the Bible says that Joshua destroyed that city, but Joshua didn't live. He was alive, I've say, 1,000 years after that city was already destroyed. That was historically inaccurate. So that's just one example. Because that city was actually destroyed in 2000 something BC. Joshua lived around 15 something BC.
But you couldn't say it's historically inaccurate unless you accept the claims of the Bible as a foundation for truth in the first place.
It's historically inaccurate, and the Bible is not true.
Yeah. What would be your self-authenticating starting point to say it's historically inaccurate?
History and science proves that it's historically inaccurate. And also, if you actually know how the Bible was actually compiled and put together, then you will see where it actually comes from. And actually, Jewish scholars actually agree with how it was compiled through many different authors, through many different times, many different cultures and beliefs. The Bible does not present it doesn't present one specific God.
None of this means it's not true, by the way. None of this has anything to do with whether it's true or not. So, I take the Bible as my ultimate authority of truth. What's your ultimate authority of truth?
My life.
Your life. Exactly. So you don't have truth. That's ridiculous.
It's fine with me.
You just decide what's true? with your own mind?
It's fine with me. You know, everything's subjective. So, and I'm totally
Well,
fine with that.
I'm looking to talk
So,
to rational people. So thanks for coming. I wish you well.
I'm very rational, but that's fine.
But if you're saying that you decide truth with your own mind, there's no way for me to convince you that with the evidence, right? Because you can just arbitrarily decide what is good evidence and not.
Well, you're saying the Bible is true, but you cannot prove the Bible is true. That's what I'm saying. And
No, you
can't
just told me you decide with your mind what's true. Therefore, it doesn't matter what evidence I present. You will just decide it's not evidence because you've just made yourself the arbiter of truth.
No, I said my life is true. That's what I said.
You said your life is true, exactly.
Yeah, I'm here talking to you. I know that I'm here talking to you right now.
Thanks,
That's
Chris.
true. But you cannot prove that the Bible actually is true.
Yeah, but I asked you, what's your ultimate authority that determines what's true?
What do you mean, ultimate authority? My life.
I mean, like your life. Thanks for coming.
There doesn't have to be.
I gave him a lot of chances. Yeah, I mean, precept can be really easy to run, but also can be really complicated. I've seen like Q-Top trying to run precept, and it's funny because he doesn't really know what he's talking about. Oh, welcome, Penguin.
What's good?
I'm just chilling. What's up? What do you got something to say?
Nah.
No?
I'm a Christian. I just came up here to like say to the people, right? If you want to invite anybody else up here, like, can you invite two people, or does it only invite one?
I kind of just like to do one at a time. I don't like to have like huge panels because then I have to like moderate, and I'm lazy. Pretty much.
I just want to be your little co-host down here.
Oh, all right, man. I can just leave you, I guess. There's not really a lot of people want to come on. What's up, Avatar?
Hello.
Hello. Do you accept God as your creator?
No.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Why not?
Because I have no reason to believe any God exists.
But that's not like a rational reason for your position. That's just kind of a restatement of your position.
No, see, me being an atheist is because I don't see any reason to believe in any God that nobody can refute with their own reason.
Well, that's just a restatement of your position, so that's not like a rationale. So would you just like concede there's no rationale for your position?
How is that not a rationale for my position?
Because it's just restating what your position is.
My position is that nobody has presented adequate reason for me to believe in their God. Nobody.
Right. So you're saying that you think that evidence exists with the independence of God. That's not a rationale. That's just what your position is.
And why should evidence not exist independent of God?
Well, I think that God is necessary for evidence, like a foundation.
Well, that's your assumption. That's an assumption. I'd love to have evidence for that.
That's my position. Yeah, sure, because
that's an assumption.
Because to know the world, we need a single unifying principle that has causal powers, and if you deny that thing, you wouldn't be able to know the world. So,
but how do you know that's God?
Because God took the initiative to reveal himself to us. So
how do you know that?
Because God revealed himself to us.
How do you know that?
I just told you.
I'm sorry, how? Tell me again.
So revelation is the idea where God transfers knowledge from God to humanity, right? That's what revelation is. So that's that would be
he didn't transfer anything to me. Did he transfer anything to you?
Well, I would say he did, right? But you're just denying the truth because you hate the truth.
I would rather have something be true.
Well, then why are you being obstinate when I'm trying to present a logical proof that Christianity is true? It seems like
I'm trying to understand how you know it's true.
Right, but you're being obstinate. I'm presenting the proof to you. And you're being obstinate rather than accepting.
What is the proof? What is the evidence?
That God so for evidence to be the case, God's necessary, right? Because evidence
That's an argument. What's the evidence?
Our evidence requires a single unifying principle.
That's an argument based on your assumption. Where is the evidence?
We go, what's necessary for there to be evidence in the first place? And a single unifying principle is necessary for evidence.
Why? Well, why is that the case?
It's the case because you can't have a truth in isolation, right? Facts can't be true independent of other facts. They require a web of facts. And so you're going to need something that can interrelate or connect all the facts in the web. If the facts...
No, I'm sorry. That's not the case. I'm sorry.
Well, you just don't know what you're talking about. You're low information.
No, I do know what I'm talking about, and I can prove it.
Okay. Well...
Whether or not... the fact that we're here...
Hold on. Stop. Not only are you low information, but you're also arrogant. So there's no point in talking to you. If you want to have some humility...
There's no point in talking to you because you seem arrogant and you're not willing to listen to other people. You're fucked. You're seriously.
I wish he was. I didn't kick him. He just left.
Oh, okay.
He didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah, I can tell. I was gonna say something, but I don't know why I backed off.
Well, honestly, man, I don't know. It'd probably just be better like if we just do one-on-ones because of like. Welcome, Adam. Do you accept God as your creator?
I have a doubt, but maybe yes, maybe no. But I'm a little bit tilted toward the no. But unless you convince me.
He's 50-50.
A little bit 55-45.
You either like accept something or you don't. There's no like you can't be 50-50 on accepting God.
No, I'm not 50-50.
Because I'm asking what you do.
45.
I'm asking what you do.
I'm just asking. Just tell me this: why, if the universe is too big, I'm almost nothing. Why is it important whether God exists or not? What's to do with that? What you see how big is the universe, and how small I am comparing to anything. And let me give you a small example. Let us say I'm a god of the ant. I created the ant. Why I should have to need those ants pray for me? Why good? Let's say you created billions of ants. I rather wanted them to go and look for sugar. Why they should have to pray to me? What's the use of that? If I'm creator of this insect, I mean ants, all these ants.
Because like you want like meaning and purpose in life, right? And the idea of like giving glory to God is glory means reveal. So God puts his love in our hearts, and then we reveal God as Christians when we live a life of love and service to others. And so Christianity is like an amazing positive force on the planet because it's all about spreading love and loving God, loving other people.
But I think about it. I'm 40 years old, but I was struggling all my life to find out what's the use of me praying for him. And he created all this universe. The sun is like millions times the size of the earth. And there are billions of suns on the sky and the universe. I'm just irrelevant, small thing. I should have to pray for him to make him happy? Is he something wrong with him? Why you need my praise?
We're the children of God. We're made in his image, so he wants to have a loving relationship with us. And then we have that relationship through prayer.
When you said he created us in his image, what image you talking about? Human being? What image?
Yeah, we're made in the image of God. Like we have God's love in our heart. We can, we have a certain degree of like free will.
When you said we are created in the image of God, what kind of human being is the image of God? The European, the African, the Pygmies, the one who live in Australia, those very short people?
It's all humans. It's all humans. So there's a reason that like all humans deserve like freedom and dignity and in the way like Jesus looks at the world.
I wish I have your kind of thinking, but my rational mind can't accept this. I emotionally, because my background is religion, but my brain doesn't accept it. My brain, I'm fighting between my brain and my heart. My brain, it didn't accept it, like almost child talk. Like if nowadays you bring all this God story about the Bible, you bring it in a cartoon, nobody will believe you.
Yeah, the Bible says that the Bible talks about how the message of the gospel sounds like foolish to people who seek worldly wisdom, but the world is corrupt, is what you got to understand, and it's actually not. There's no rationality in the world. It's human attempts at rationality all fail. Only rationality is only possible through God's revelation. It only makes sense if the Bible's true.
I agree with you. And I really, you seem to be you believer. I wish one day I will become like you. But you said when God sent his son and sacrificed himself for me, why he should have to do all this thing? Why don't you stay there and just do it? Why he go through all this? And by the way, how pain he's going to feel? He's a God. What kind of pain is that? I mean, there are people dying. You throw on them 1 ton of atom, Hiroshima, and in the war, there are a lot of people suffered more than Jesus. What do you mean when Jesus came, he suffered for me? And he's God. He can stop the pain. He cannot feel the pain if he want to. And he already knows you'll go through that. I mean, if it doesn't make sense, all the story. If somebody tells you, I'm going to suffer for you, but if I know that what kind of pain I'm going to go through, if I know what day it will happen to me, how's that pain? It's not going to be pain.
What happened was
God can stop the pain. You don't think so?
We chose to rebel, and because we chose to rebel from God, we're separated from God. And as a result of that separation, there was like death and suffering in the world. And so God had to incarnate as a man. He had a plan to fix things where he incarnates as a man, and he experiences like that pain on the cross. The consequences of our sin he experiences on the cross. And because he does this, we have open to us a relationship with God, so we don't have to be separate from God anymore. We can have a relationship through Christ. And therefore, we have hope. There's more to the world. There's purpose. There's meaning. Life is about love, loving God, loving others, service to others. And when we're gone, we'll be born again in a new life. So that's
okay. Just I'm almost going to finish, but this one, you see, some people believe that when there is the day of judgment, some people go to hell, and they will be suffering there, burning there forever. This is really pain. You're going to suffer like roasted chicken forever. But God only he get nail on his hand. And he going to say, I suffered for you? Come on, it doesn't make sense. When we do mistake in this earth, we go to hell and we're going to burn forever. And he comes here, he's a God, he got nail on his hand, and he said, I suffered for you. Come on, man, it doesn't make sense.
It's more like we have like a spiritual disease where we're separated from God, and if you die separated from God, then you'll be like eternally separated from God, and you're not going to like that. You're going to want to have a relationship with God, so you're going to want to go through Christ and have that relationship with God. It's not.
I really appreciate your help, but I one day I'll become like you, and thank you for your help.
All right, you're welcome, man. I wish you well.
Thank you.
God loves you, bro.
I swear that guy keeps calling me, trying to sell me things. I don't know. I get these calls, and it's from someone that sounds like him, kind of.
Oh.
What's up, guys?
You believe in God?
Yeah, man, I'm very thankful. I just wanted to say, like 2 guests ago, that Your denial isn't an argument, guys. To the atheists, a lot of angry atheists is just denying things and presenting that as an argument. Yeah, you can't do that. It's bad. It's a no. That's not logical. Stop saying I'm not convinced and saying that's an argument. Please stop. It's boring. It's late.
Yes.
I want to hear the argument, guys. Please.
Argument is a logical process. What they're doing is they're just contradicting. So anytime I make a claim, they just go nuh-uh. Even if I support the claim with like a reason to believe the claim, they'll still just go nuh-uh.
Yeah, it's annoying. Please stop, guys.
All right,
Yeah,
man.
that's all
Thanks.
I have to say. Yep.
Yawn.
What's up, Jan? I seen you streaming on here. You're a Christian, right? Or am I wrong on that?
Yeah. No, you're right. I'm sorry. I don't mean to like deflect on your prompt. I don't know if you saw that. There's this other user, Champ. He was like trying to say Satan's better than God.
Yep, that hurts. That really hurts. Okay. You want to know embarrassing thing?
I'm sorry, what?
What can we expect from non-believers, right? That's the type of stuff they're going to do, so...
I know. I'm not trying to let him live rent free, but he's bald.
Yeah.
You want to know a funny thing?
What?
Satan lost against Archangel Michael.
I know. That's why this dude's crying. He's over there crying.
He tried to say Satan's better than God.
I love how whenever I do the polls of who won the debate, I go, okay, so do the crying face for the atheist. If you think the atheist won.
I think he got rejected by 305 or whatever the number is, and now he's mad at God about it. So it's whatever.
Yeah, it's a lot of like their position's emotional, like something. I mean, it's understandable, I guess. Like if something bad, some tragedy happens in your life, like it's like Job, right? I can see you questioning God and stuff. I guess. Right. Yeah. They're not being logical, and they act like they're logical. That's what bugs me, right? Because they're kind of hypocritical.
Oh yeah, they're the most emotional people that are like walking this earth. But you know, it does make sense because when you don't have that connection, you kind of just walk around miserable. But I'm not trying to like crap on them, but I would hope that they just like turn their ways. No, keep on doing what you're doing. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, man.
Yep, have a good one.
God bless, bro.
God bless.
There's not a whole lot of people. There's this lefty guy that's asking, but I've talked to him a lot lately. I don't know. I'm kind of getting hungry. I think I might make some food. It's getting late. I'm gonna go. So yeah, I think what's up?
What time is it over there?
It's like 11. So yeah, I'm probably gonna like go to eat some food and go to bed. But I had fun. It was nice talking to everyone. Nice to meet you, Penguin.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. I'm probably gonna be back tomorrow if you're still live.
Yeah, I stream. I'm kind of addicted to TikTok, so yeah. All right. Well, God bless, man. God bless everyone.
God bless you too, bro.